Hello, everyone. Hope everybody had a good day. My day was good. Yeah, life is good. It is. Yeah. Um. So today I am starting our Alexandria uh, broadcasts, and I figured I would start by um laying out how driven transformations began. Um, when I was in business, we had a we had a block business, and I had designed a wall system, and it was very successful. And that wall system, uh, we kept that business going for I don't know, like 12 years. And then when the market crashed, we switched gears, got into retail and uh, martial arts and these types of things. And it was good. It was really good. Uh, but while we're in business, we did business all over uh, Minnesota, the five-state area, Canada, and one of the highlights, I suppose, is Alexandria. So Alexandria was a beautiful town, good people, really good people, and so when uh, when the time came and things were uh, moving forward, uh, we decided that we were going to expand another business uh, in Alexandria, and that was our printing business. So we have, we do hats, signs, banners, um, all kinds of things, embroidery, laser engraving, these types of things, and we do a lot of that. So we're expanding that in Alexandria in 2018, and I was going to buy a building, and that was the 607 Broadway, the old, I believe it was the Mustard Seed building. And while I was looking at that, uh, one of the shops had contacted me about uh, their business, and they were struggling. It was Trend and Couture, and they were going to shut it down. And after seeing all the devastation of the 2008 crisis, uh, I don't want to see anybody's business close. And so I met with them, and um, they were in tears, and they're going to shut it down. And I told them just hold off. And uh, there was some opportunities to advance uh, that business through doing a fashion show, and it's something that they'd already done, but they'd kind of uh, overextended themselves doing that. Uh, Fashion shows typically don't make you money. I did a few when I was down in Florida, and so they're for marketing only, really. And so there was an opportunity to do one and not go backwards. So we moved that forward. In the meantime, I was going to go buy that building, and uh, I was asked to do a coffee shop inside their building first. Um, so I looked at it, and they said they'd cover the labor and the rent, I would cover everything else. So that's the way we went, and it saved their business. So that's good. That was the goal. And I'll show you a little promo video of so I can get this to go. Yeah. So I can get the sound going.
Well, we haven't had a coffee shop in Alexandria downtown on Broadway since the Daily Grind. I was just managing at a different coffee shop.
Start it over.
Patty typed in coffee shop question mark. That's all it was. Then I go, maybe that's it. And we sat down and we developed and got together and collaborated and just made this great thing happen.
Well, we haven't had a coffee shop in Alexandria downtown on Broadway since the Daily Grind. I was just managing at a different coffee shop here in town, and so I was given the opportunity, and after I asked what kind of beans we have or what kind of beans one of the co-owners roasts, he said Cafe Imports, and I was sold. I think Sean chose Cafe Imports, and why I love Cafe Imports so much is because they have sustainable coffee, they pick the highest quality, and they have such a passion for their bean. We do wellness drinks. I made up these wellness drinks because when I go to a typical coffee shop, although coffee is really good for you and as well as teas, you can't get a beet or something that's really good for you that's gonna give you an inflammation or anti-inflammation or give you some mind clarity. And so I decided to come up with some really awesome drinks to give you health benefits as well as giving you that flavor that you can come back for more with. So we have a heartbeat, which is beets and cinnamon together. Beets and cinnamon are both really good for your health, both really good for your heart, your cholesterol, LDLs, and so I created that one specifically for your heart. The Sunshiny is for anti-inflammatory, and I created that with turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, and pepper, and I sweeten it up with a little bit of honey. What that does is the turmeric and the pepper together kind of create a bond and are able to be used into your body a lot better than if you were to just ingest turmeric. And turmeric has been known for anti-inflammatory as well as anti-cancer. I created the Dreaming Out Loud for Mental Clarity that has blue spirulina in it with ginger, and so it's able to kind of get that midday fog out of your brain or give you a little bit of natural energy without caffeine. And I put a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweetness to it, so it'll definitely taste, give your taste palate a good kick. It's right on Broadway in the Trending Couture by Ann Manning shop.
So there you go. That was our first advertisement. A friend of mine put that together. It's a beautiful job. And so that was a good experience. That was like 7-8 years ago, right? Yeah, 2018. Started putting all that together in like, I guess it was March, April, May, somewhere's in there. So, we saved a business. And, with any business, you have, business is not easy. And if you don't have the stomach for it, anxiety and things could pop up and cause issues. And of course, the coffee business, no different. And ultimately, I got the attorneys together and sold it. It wasn't an ideal sale, but you'll have that. But we had the attorneys handle it, and they wrote me a check and bought me out, and I was the primary owner and without me, there was no business. So this was good for everybody. It's good for everybody. The goal was to save Trend and Couture from closing, and that's what we did. So uh, that's the premise of everything that I do in life, and that is to lift other people up. You don't have to agree with them. They're fellow human beings. They're human. If we can just work together as human beings and lift each other up, uh, life would be so much better for everybody. Things in business, I've seen things go really crazy, and a lot of anger and a lot of resentment, a lot of things, and people will carry that for a long time. There's a better way. You don't have to have that yuckiness in your heart, you know. So my goal is to lift up the heart condition of uh, of society, and doing that one person at a time. When someone is in need of something, I'm always there, always. I want other people to be there for each other too. And if we can just start focusing on the good in people, focusing on the good in life, we'll see that um, things aren't as dark as as we think. I'll share a story. I was 17, sitting on a mountain out on the west coast, looking over this town, and I didn't have any parents. Looked at the town as a very dark place, just a place you would never want to raise children, right? And I was walking over to a friend's house one night. It was, 6, 7 o'clock, probably 6 o'clock, probably a little before 6. And one of the wrestling coaches, the head wrestling coach, stopped, asked how I was doing, asked if I had a minute, and I said yeah. And he said, "So what's going on?" And I said, "Nothing. Everything's normal, good, whatever." He goes, "There's something different. There's something different with you." So then I told him, I said, "I don't have a home. I don't have any parents. I'm just surviving on my own, doing what I can." And and that was okay, But when I told him that story, he said to me, "I'm going to make sure that you have a place to live and have food, and you're taken care of. Um, your job is to graduate, get clean, because drug use and alcohol and so forth, things you'd expect in those conditions." And so from that point forward, my life changed. And so I tried to stay sober, and he had a special class for kids in recovery at the school. So I'd go there, and I wasn't honest about being sober. And one day I said, I can't stay sober. And he said that he would find a treatment program for me. And he did. And at first he said outpatient, and I said, "I can't do outpatient." I said, "It won't work. Not for me." So he found an inpatient lockdown facility where I can't get out. And so the community spent $10,000 on this throwaway kid, right? And changed my life forever. And when I got out from there, I went to that class, and they're having an assembly that day. and a pro wrestler named Dutch Savage from Minnesota had an outreach program in Portland, and he was speaking. So he was up in that class and talking to all the kids, and they shared all their stories. And it come to me. I was the last one because I was sitting right next to him, and so I told him my story, and he got this look in his face that, and he put his arm around me, and then we went down to the assembly, and he was giving his speech, his thing, and telling about his son, his addiction problems and so forth, and how he lost his son. And he stopped and he said, I want to introduce someone to you. You probably already know who he is. And he called me up in front of the whole school and said, I'm really proud of this guy. And it still gets me to this day. Nobody ever really said they were proud of me, Even I didn't really have anybody, and on a regular basis, I had people here and there, whatever. But he told part of my story to everybody. Then I finished it, and it sparked a Q&A, and people were really interested. Well, from that point forward, because we created this buzz, we started doing these public speaking engagements at all the schools, all the fire departments, all the hospitals, all the police stations, anybody on the radio, on TV, all these things. And I was their poster child to let people know that you can overcome these things. Addiction was a huge problem back then. It was destroying communities. It was sad, and so I got involved in this movement of getting kids clean and sober. It was just before graduation. I was sitting up on that hill, up on that mountain again, and looking down at this town, and I seen this beautiful town. It was like a postcard town in my mind, and like the rainbows kind of thing or whatever. It's just beautiful, a place you would definitely want to raise your children. And nothing changed in that town. Everything in that town was exactly the same. The only thing that changed was me, my heart condition, my operating system, how I communicated, how I took things in from the world, and how I gave things back to the world. That's what changed. And I want that for everybody. For everybody. It's how you operate from within here, how you connect to the world. And if we can create, even on a small scale so that it grows, just people taking care of one another and knowing that if you're blessing the world, you get to live in a blessed world. And there's nothing more valuable than that. There's no greater payment than to know that the world you live in is awesome, right? So that's where Driven Transformations came in. After the coffee shop, during the time before the coffee shop and after, there was a group of people that weren't very nice, right? They had bad intentions. It's because they operated from a bad place, right? From that a bad operating system. They're in a dark place, right? So I walk in forgiveness. I don't worry about what someone's done to me or said to me or tried to do to me. Like, I don't care about any of that. Even to this day, if any one of them needed anything, I'd be there for them. It's just the way we're supposed to be. you're not going to bring somebody out of darkness by hammering them back into darkness. You know, we could have put them in jail. We could have did all these things, but to what end? You know, there's no good that comes of that, right? So it's better to let it go and be the truth. Let the truth be the it's not even revenge. Like, the truth will heal it, right? If they're saying bad things that aren't true, eventually people see that. And eventually they start realizing that they're not selling it anymore. It's not working, right? And over time, you know, they learn, right? They learn by, you know, if they have a business that people don't shop there anymore, so they go somewhere else because they don't want to deal with that negativity, right? That stuff in here. So, if you look at it like this, it's God put together a balanced world, and when things are out of balance, it seeks balance, right? It will find balance. So if you're putting too much negativity out there in the world, eventually you find balance and start correcting yourself, right? So that's a real life scenario where you don't have to put out negative, thinking you're going to find a positive, because it doesn't work like that. So always put out good stuff, always, right? So with driven transformations, it evolved from initially helping people with business to helping people who are just struggling in life. I got my counseling certificate and my ordination in as a pastor, ministry, stuff like that. But I only did it because it's kind of a requirement. But we don't need a certificate to be human with one another. We don't need it. Just be human with one another. A smile, a positive interaction does so much good in this world. Just those little things. It's huge. Huge, right? So it started out with that, and then trying to get that message out one by one wasn't enough. So I got a television show on cable and started putting this stuff out, and then built up my own studio. Now we got a studio in Alexandria, Cold Spring, and Montevideo, so that more people will absorb that message, and then we'll get more people involved with their own message that they want to put out, right? So it's about getting positive things out, and that's what we're doing, just putting out positive things, and let people know that you don't have to make a big deal out of someone having a bad day. If someone's having a bad day and they say something wrong or something, don't let it bother you. Don't let it bother you. It doesn't mean that if it gets serious that you don't push back. I mean, you have to push back, but do it through a good heart, and do it with truth. Just the truth. Bare bones. Whatever the consequences of the truth are, it's okay. Because it's real. It's okay. Right? So that's how driven transformations came about. So now we are a broadcasting company that does video production for several other shows that are international, and that's going just growing, right? And as we go, you know, our print business comes along with us. So we have our signs and our banners and our hats and laser stuff and embroidery, all those things. So all that just kind of grows together. And it's all with the purpose of doing good in this world. Always focus on a commitment of goodness. If you're a faith-based person, love is a commitment of goodness. Hate is a commitment of the opposite, right? So when Jesus said to love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as you love yourself, that's committing goodness. God is the greatest good, omnipresent everywhere. Commit goodness everywhere. Commit goodness to God. Commit goodness to your neighbor. Commit goodness to yourself. Always work with good intention for the greater good, which means if you're the only person